that's where I was getting thrown off, like with the odd ones. I was getting the evens, but with the odds, it was just not
Okay,
happening.
so this has 14 numbers.
Mhm.
So the median is going to be the 7th and the 8th number. So you have to count
So
up
it'd
until
be
you these. Go ahead.
45 plus 45.
Yes, divided by 2, which is
45.
yes. Now there are 7 numbers in the lower half. Okay,
Mhm.
7 numbers in the lower half. So you look for in the lower half, just imagine you're looking at the first 7 numbers. The middle number is the 4th number.
So 34.
Yes. And then same thing in the top half. There's 7 in the top half. And sometimes it's like the video said, it's easier to count backwards from the top. So the 4th one from the top.
So 53.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, I didn't continue with this one. I left it. I didn't want to.
That's okay. I get it. It's like, if I miss one, I got to redo. I got to do 2 more. So
Yeah.
you remember systematic sampling from last time?
I believe it was like the random correct, not specific.
That's the random one. So systematic is when you choose every nth person. So like in this case, every 5th passenger. That is systematic.
Okay.
That's the first one there. Now the random in part B, it says which of the following best describes a random sample of customers. So you're looking for one that says that each one is equally likely to be selected.
So I would say B.
Does B say that?
Mm,
So this one actually says exactly the words I mentioned there in the first option, equally likely to be drawn, to be selected. Equally likely
oh,
is
equally
the
likely.
key word. That's for a random sample. Okay.
Oh,
Now, cluster sampling is where you choose all of them in a certain subsection. It's not very random. Um, so
mm,
sometimes you got to do it by which one it's not. Forms 5 groups based on resident, and then she selects 12 residents at random from each group. Okay, so the last one is stratified. The third option there, where it divides into groups and then uses randomly from each group. That's considered stratified. So that one's out.
out.
The first
Okay.
one says the city manager uses a computer program to draw 60 residents at random, and then selects these residents.
I kind of got thrown off right there because of the equally
Every
likely.
citizen experience
Yeah.
equally likely to be drawn. Yeah. So the first one is random because it's
Uh huh.
everyone is equally likely. So therefore, it must be the middle one.
Middle.
Although I don't necessarily love the way that that's written, but it does say that she selects all of the residents. All of them is typically clustering when you select all of a group.
Okay. All
That's
random. Okay.
the middle. Yeah, the middle one there. It's a lot to decode, truthfully. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. I would say. I've been at it all morning long at this thing.
it can be frustrating. It really can. There's not
Yes, and
much
I'm
help
just
there.
yeah. The YouTube has been coming in handy. I can say.
All right, so the median here is the middle line, the one that cuts through the box there in the middle, and then you have to draw kind of with your, oh, you're not even, okay, yeah, you go ahead and start. We don't need much.
Okay.
When
We
you're
don't
on
need
your
that.
own, the background's helpful. With me, just go right to it. So put
Got
your
it.
cursor on that middle line there in the box, and then
Mhm.
go straight down as best you can and see where it hits all the way down. See where it hits. Looks like it hits there at 22, would you say?
Yeah. One,
Okay,
21,
so
22.
that's
Yep.
the median. The smallest number of new businesses is all the way to the left. That last place on the left there. Keep going.
Right
Keep
here.
going. Yeah, that one there. Looks like it's 12 maybe.
Right here. 12. Yeah. 11, 12.
The first quartile is the left side of the box.
So
Yeah, keep going left. There you go, right there. Like it's
16.
16, yeah. All right, so why don't you try these three on your own, and I'll say yes or no
Okay.
based on what you decide there.
So I got 1 and 7 for that one.
So Q3 is to the right there. It's the right side of the
Okay, to the right.
rectangle.
So I'm saying 116.
Yeah, you're gonna have to just go. Yeah. I mean, those look okay, meaning like I can't without zooming in, which it
Yeah, okay.
would be okay. Actually, I guess I've never had to do this.
Oh, what do we need to do different?
Oh, nothing. I just haven't had I haven't been on the side of it that's Zoom very often, but I was able to make this look better for
Oh,
me. So yeah, that's good. Good there.
oh, okay,
So go ahead
for
and
sure.
all
Okay,
right.
so
So
what is? So the tallest height I would say would be 44. No, 43.
it's like okay, keep going.
At 36. Sorry, we went too far. And then
I
Q1, would that be on the left or the right?
I am not able to see your screen. Looks like you stopped sharing there. If you want to go ahead and share screen one more time.
Yes. For Q1, would that be left or right?
I'm still not seeing your screen. After you hit the share screen button, you have to select the application. Looks like it timed out there. Give that one more try. Really odd here. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll have you reset on your side. Sometimes it's just a little thing there. If you could try sharing your screen one more time, sometimes it requires a stop and restart here. Yeah, so I unfortunately am not seeing anything on your
That's
screen.
good. So hold on, let me see
Um,
if it puts stop share with us. And
so
then,
it keeps showing me that you're sharing, and then not, and then it's just a black window, which it's almost like you're sharing the Zoom window. You want to share whatever application, which is your browser. There it is. That's perfect.
okay,
All right,
yeah.
that's actually what I was asking you for yesterday, where it just shows
Okay, I see what I was doing different. So I
yeah,
was hitting the whole window instead
yes,
of actual
good.
windows.
So these look good. The last one there is going to be the left part of that rectangle,
Okay,
left
so
edge.
okay, so I'm getting 1, 2, 2. I know I figured out what I did wrong in the Zoom.
Oh, hang on. Oh,
This isn't no worries, no worries.
the left, so the middle rectangle there that's there's sort of a big rectangle there that's 30. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What is the lowest exam score? So the lowest I'm seeing is 72.
Yes.
And then the mean, I would say about 80.
80's good.
And Q3 is the left side, correct?
The right Q3 is the right side.
So I would say about 87.
Good.
Okay. I'm just gonna skip right to it.
All right, these are quite large or quite long problems, although they put the data in order. So you want to do it this way: find the minimum value, which is all the way on the left. That's 9. And then do the maximum value, which is 36. Those are kind of the easiest ones to
936.
find.
And are we oh max 36.
Max there, the second to last one there. The next thing is to find the median. So because there's 12 families, the median is the 6th and the 7th number, the average.
Mhm.
So if you count
The
from the left,
yeah, 26 and 28 is what I got.
right. So you're going to find the average of those two, which is 27. That's the
So
median.
that,
To find the lower quartile, you split the data in half. So there's the bottom 6 and the top 6. So you look at the bottom 6 numbers and you find the median of those bottom 6.
so I'm getting 20 and 20.
Right. So that means it would be 20 is the lower quartile. And the lower quartile is Q1, by the way. For the upper quartile, you take the top 6 and do the same thing. You find the two middle numbers, which looks like it's 32 and 32. Now the interquartile range is the difference, subtraction, upper quartile minus the lower quartile. 32 minus 20.
Mm, 20 and I got 12.
Yes. Is it okay
And
that
so
I'm talking you through it, or do you want me to share my screen at all and put any notes down?
no, you're good. You're good so far.
Okay.
I do have a question though. So the upper part, I can't say it, is Q2 or is that just Q1?
Q3 is the upper quartile.
Okay, Q3.
Yeah, Q2, believe it or not, is the median, but it's never written that way.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Okay, so the minimum here is 62. That's one all the way on the left. Max is 90. Those are kind of the nice ones to grab first.
Mhm.
Then go to the median. So since there's an odd number of numbers, there is a middle number. It's the 7th number. Basically, you're cutting the number in half and rounding up. So 13 and a half is 6.5. You round up to 7. So the 7th number is the median.
Okay, so 79.
Yeah, looks right. Quartile 1, you look at the lower 6. So you exclude the median value, the lower 6, 6 below, 6 above.
So I got 70 and 72.
That's right. So you take the average of those, which you'll find is 71, adding them up, dividing by 2. And then do the same thing for the upper quartile.
So 86.
Agreed. All right. And the interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile, which is
Negative 15.
it's always a positive number. It's the upper minus the lower.
Oh, okay.
So positive 15. It's always going to be a positive
Okay.
number. All right, so for the next one here, I will check your numbers, but give this one a try on your own. And if you have questions, please ask.
Sure.
so that median there, there's two middle numbers. And
2 middle
14
numbers.
since, yeah, so there's, and one of the things that would help, I know you got it on the screen, but if you were to circle it, you would see that there's 7 below and 7 above. That means
Mhm.
there's two middle numbers, the 7th and the 8th.
So would the two middle numbers be 40 and
Yes,
42? Okay.
yes, exactly.
So 41.
Yes. And then there's 7 lower numbers to look at for the
So I would start, okay.
yeah.
So I'm getting 31 for the,
Yes, yes, exactly. It's the 4th number.
and then 52. And then 2 is 21.
Hang on, hang on, hang on.
Okay.
Nope, don't. So always good to let me, especially on that
Double
third
check.
one here. Yeah, I was just because we don't have to redo. This does look good, but
Okay.
just
Don't jump the
recommendation.
gun.
Yes, but I appreciate the confidence. It looks good though, so if you want to check it.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes, yeah,
All right. Yeah, because you explained it pretty well. Like, so that's what I
yeah.
really appreciate
And,
it.
and here's the thing: you could also just enter a number wrong, right? Like so.
No, I get
Extra set of eyes is always good. Good job on that.
it. We're shooting through this. I'm so glad. Okay. Oh, so I was kind of doing, I passed, there was another one before this, and it was just saying finding disease. So I passed that one, but when I got to this one, I got thrown off because of the
Yeah, I'm,
B.
I'm gonna grab a snip here and share my screen.
Okay, yeah.
You're kind of moving into new territory, so um, the thing that you need to know here is that Z is X minus mu over sigma, and that means that there are more and more letters and Greek letters and stuff like that. So to start, what I'm going to do is just tell you the values, and then we'll learn how to interpret them. So when it says the mean price of a home, that's mu. So the 735,000 is mu. The standard deviation is sigma, and they're telling you they're interested in this type of home. So that's X. So it's 756,000 minus 735,000 over 18,100. When you calculate this, please put that in parentheses. Otherwise, you'll get a really odd looking result potentially. It does say to round your answer to 2 decimal places. That's another place where there's potential for some mistakes there. So
Yeah.
just to give that a try. Uh,
Do we make it like the parentheses out of it or on just on top?
just on top. Just on top.
Okay.
All right, so here's the result that I got. Please double check. I do make mistakes.
Okay.
Or if you don't get this at all, say, hey, you know what, I got something really different. We'll compare.
So on this calculator, I got 41.5745. Maybe I did something wrong, so let me double check.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you want to, I can look at you on the next problem, maybe watch you share how you're doing it on the next
Yeah,
one.
sure.
But the answer is 1.16. That's the Z value.
Got it.
And
I
then
thought that's what you were asking me to do. I'm sorry.
yeah, the calculator part's important. Now the next thing here, it says always to like change your answer to a positive. Um, it already is positive, so that number goes in there, 1.16. If it's positive, it's going to say above. If it's negative, it's going to be below. You're choosing probably above or greater than. I don't know what the options are in the drop down there.
Above or below. So
If you're ready, maybe share your screen again. I'm definitely going to need to grab one more to best help you on these types of problems for sure. Okay, fantastic. Was the other one correct?
yeah, it was.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see it up there. All right. Yeah. So let me grab one more here, and maybe have you try the last one you're on. But let me share my screen, and hopefully we talk this together. So again, the formula for z is x minus mu over sigma. So when you go back and look at the words, you're looking for the mean. So it says the mean distance commuted to campus among all students is 27. That's mu. Standard deviation sigma, that's 7. So we got a couple of the values there. It says that Omar's distance to the campus is 12 kilometers. That's x. Okay, so this time you're going to get a negative number when you do this. So grab your calculator and try calculating this one more time. And before I put up what I believe the answer is, I want you to give me your answer, please.
Okay. So I did get a negative number, so I got negative 2.14, but it's always a positive.
Yeah, so the z value is negative 2.14, but you're going to change it down here to 2.14, and then because it's negative, it will be below.
Okay. Mm, are we still sharing screens? Can you still see what I'm doing?
I am, we're seeing my screen. So for the
Okay.
next one, I want you to try it. Well, if you need me to check how you're entering this, that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, whenever you're ready, going to share your screen, I'd like you to try the last one on your own. I will check your numbers before you
You got it. I'm just
resubmit.
gonna so I can see your example of that screen here. Okay. So, mm, mm, mm. So for this, I got 0.61.
I am not seeing your screen right now. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So let me, yeah, I have not calculated anything yet. So give me just a moment to get caught up to you and be able to best help. Let me. Okay. So the X value here is 45. The mean is 37. And standard deviation is 13. All right. So this would be 0.62 when you round it. That looks good.
okay. And then here, 0.62. And since it's not a negative, it will be an above, correct?
This one's positive. We ended up getting a positive number, so it'd be above. Yeah. Good. All right. Really good. Let's see what's next.
This one. And you still seeing everything? Do I need to share
I'm
my
seeing,
screen
yeah,
again?
I'm seeing your screen. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of words here. Let me grab a snip of this. The main difference between what's called a population and a sample is that the population would be if you could sample everyone. So I'm sharing my screen now. You can look on yours, or you can let
Okay,
me.
yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
There's no calculations here, but um,
Okay.
the sample is the group you select to represent the population. So we do have to
Mhm.
read this. It says Susan publishes a blog on bird watching with field notes and pictures for a trip around the country. Recently, she decided to conduct a poll among 600 of her subscribers and found that 71% of those have liked at least one of her blog. So could you click the drop down next to sample here? Because that's what the poll is among 600 of her subscribers. Or what are the options there under the sample?
It is all subscribers to Suzanne's blog or the 600 subscribers to Suzanne's blog.
All right, you might have to share your screen for me to help you better with that one. So the population is something about well, I'll need to look at those actually again. Yeah. All right. So do you click that drop down next to sample? Okay. So the sample is the 600 subscribers because that does not represent all of the people in her population. That's not all of the people that get her blog. The population, though, in this case is all of them. You hit the drop down next to population. Should be the same two options. It'll be all the subscribers or all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So the the question, the next problem there where it says parameter statistic, for each one, what you're trying to decide is, does it represent all of them? If it's all of them, it's a parameter. If it's just some of them, it's a statistic, meaning if it's the sample. Parameter is the whole population. Statistic is the sample. So if you see the word all, like you do in the third one there, 68% of all the subscribers, that's a
Mhm.
parameter. Last one. Uh, yeah, the last one is a parameter. 68% of all the subscribers. That's the key word there. Okay.
All,
All right. How about the middle one? Does it say the word all
um,
subscribers?
all subscribers to Suzanne's
Yeah.
blog. Yes. So that's a
The average
parameter.
of 1.5 comments per blog, that all, so that's a parameter. The first one refers to the 600 that you sampled. Samples go with statistic. So you have to associate the word sample and statistic, parameter, and population.
I see. So the way they did it was because of the one six
Yeah,
28.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's really a language thing. I mean, this is not really math in some ways, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right. So you can read the thing at the top if you want, but the population sample, if you want to click on the drop downs, there's going to be two two words there. The sample or the population is always going to be the all. The sample is going to be the other one.
And then so all would be all.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Um,
So when you're looking at the table down below, you're trying to decide if you see the word all the hospitals patients, that's probably a parameter.
okay. So then this one would be a statistic because it
Yes,
says 178.
that's right. That's right. Kind of another way to do it is like if it uses the sample value.
Uh, So this would be a statistic as well because this is a group of 178.
Yes.
Oh, you've done amazing with explaining that. Thank you.
Yeah. There's always a little shortcut here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna check it. Go. And then drop down. So it would be the this one correct? And
Okay. Make sure you get that population there as well. All right. It's got the same deal. So try the table there, and I'll check it when you've had a chance to look.
okay, okay,
Okay, so you got them down there.
okay.
Let me take a look here. All the households, all the households. That looks good. Yep, looks good. Very good. Okay. So the way to do this problem, and this is a very tough thing for students to do. If you really, it's easier if you just have the numbers. It's easier if you just have the three standard deviation numbers, but they don't give that to you. They give you the graphs, unfortunately. So let me share my screen real quick here to maybe illustrate the point here. Um, the largest standard deviation is the one with the most spread. And then there's one with maybe the least spread, right? And kind of a
Mhm,
quick way to do it is to look at the range, but that doesn't work all that well always. Um, but it's a good place to start. So the range, did you talk about the range at all?
no.
Okay, so the range is the max minus the min. So in this, like in C, the range is 10 minus 2, which is 8. In B, it's 9 minus 3, which is 6. In A, it's 10 minus 2, which is 8. So between A and C, they kind of have the same amount of spread. Do you kind of agree that with that roughly?
Mm,
Like the extreme values, how far apart they are?
yeah.
Okay. So uh, the next thing to look at is like, well, is the data pretty spread out evenly, or does more of it towards the center? So like
Well,
between, go ahead.
mm, I'm sorry. Well, for me, I think like A is more kind of like towards the center, I guess.
A is more towards the center, so it has less variation than C. So C has the biggest spread. It has the highest standard deviation compared to A. And then B is got the least spread. That's why it's over here on the left. And
I
this
mean, I think.
range is kind of a quick way to look at all three. It doesn't completely work, but it's a pretty good starting point.
Mhm. So then I moved on to the next question. So for the so, how, so we're going to do the max to the medium. So for A, the max would be 8 to 4.
Okay, so like a width of 4. And
I'm sorry, what?
how about B? What's the width of B? Like the max minus the min.
Um, I would say 8 still because it's on this line.
No, no, B is 8 minus 4 as well.
8 minus 4.
So I'm just looking at that bottom number there, and I'm happy to grab another snip on these.
Yeah, could you?
Sure,
I'm a
you could
little
always just
thrown
say,
off.
yeah, say, hey, Matthew, I don't understand. Go ahead and do
Okay.
that. I know how hard it is to talk through math. I can tell you for sure. All right. Yeah, so for letter A, oh, almost there. All right, there you should be seeing my screen. For letter A, it's 8 minus 4, which is 4. I'm looking at those numbers there. For B, it's 8 minus 4 again, which is 4. Those are the same, but the last one is 9 minus 3, which is 6. That is the most spread out. You see how that's the most spread of these?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to have the greatest standard deviation. Now, when deciding between A and B, to me, B has more extreme values than A by, 1 or 2.
Yeah,
So
very.
it's got like more on the edges. So the spread of B is greater than A because of these peaks on the edges. So you're making a comparison between those two.
It's connected.
These are harder than just calculating the standard deviation because you're just interpreting, and it's understandable if you're still like, hey, I don't get it, and that's okay. If you want to share your screen, I'm happy to grab another snip, or if you want to try one on your own, you can. All right, there it is. So this, of course, is an exception. Why don't I grab a snip
Mm-hmm.
of this? Share screen. Okay, so when you're looking at my screen here, all three of these have the same range. They're all 10 minus 2, which is 8,
Yeah,
and
I
minus
saw.
2,
I
which is
just
8.
did all of it. I was like, oh, they're all the same.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm ready to do one, and they're all the same. Now what do I do, man? It's like, well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
So the this one this one has two extreme values, and the rest are in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the so that this one is the most extreme. Anything that's got kind of like a mountaintop on the sides, it's going to be more extreme. So then we're down to you got to get it down to a comparison between two. So what's the difference between these two? The only difference is in kind of this, like, I don't know if you played Tetris or block
Mm-hmm.
games, but like this L shape, it's L shaped in versus L shaped out. So A
Yeah.
has the extreme value, whereas B has one that's more in the middle. So A has more variation than B because it's like more to the outside.
Great. And we passed it. Yay.
All right.
We only had like maybe 9 minutes. Are we going to work all the way up to the
Yeah,
50?
so we work
Okay.
right up to 50, so it's up to you if you want to how you want to use
Yeah,
the
we could
time.
do
Happy
maybe one
we
more.
we can just keep going. And
Okay.
I am pretty strict about the time just because I do need that break
Yeah, for
between.
sure.
But I always kind of gauge it based on what we're doing.
For
All right,
sure.
I grabbed a snip of this one. This is the counting principle. I think you mentioned that to me on the phone here. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Um, so this was, for as a guy, we kind of look at it this like look at this way. I don't know that women feel this way, but if you have three shirts and three pairs of pants, the way I look at it, it's like, okay, I got three shirts, three pants. I have 9 outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you multiply these numbers together. I call these bucket problems because there's a bucket for shirts and a bucket for pants, and you end up multiplying them together. I mean, reality though is that not every shirt goes with every pant.
Okay.
But we've seen a lot of people in life that aren't dressed appropriately. So You never know.
Yes.
But basically you're just each of these are like categories or buckets, and for each one that you can have, you take the amount that you have and multiply it by the amount that you have for the next one. So like in another problem here, the answer is 9. Another problem, a more difficult problem, maybe where it says, you've got like socks and you've got 4 pairs of socks, you would then multiply 4 to get 36.
Oh,
But I
okay.
mean, but
Kind of simple.
in reality though, I mean, socks don't make an outfit, at least in my world.
Okay.
So
I
why don't
mean,
you
some
share your
people can. Yeah, for sure.
and maybe try the next one on your own, and I can check your answer. These are generally just multiplying, um,
Multiply answer.
multiplication problems. Yeah, why don't you try this here?
So I've got 12.
Hang on. Yes, that's correct. Sorry, I misread the numbers though. It's good.
Yeah, I won't jump the gun. Go.
Same thing for this one.
8.
Okay. Right. How many topics is this, like a weekly goal, or what's
Yeah,
the?
this is like a weekly goal.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was
Wow.
like behind like 3 weeks.
Okay. Got it. Now you can always go ahead and start these. I'll
Oh,
do my best to give you the explanation that you really need here.
okay.
All right. Um, so dice here. I'm going to share my screen. Talk about dice. Hopefully you've seen a dice, a die, a rolled one, maybe. It's always
Mhm.
interesting in high school because a lot of students haven't played dice games or card games, anymore. But this one's asked for the probability of rolling a number greater than 2. So to do this, you have to figure out how many possible outcomes there are. Okay. So in this case, when you roll a dice with 1 through 6, there are 6 possible outcomes. You probably know that. And then there's the ones that you care about. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which of those are greater than 2?
4.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And how many of that? Well, it's 4. You do need to simplify your fraction to 2/3 when you do this. So these problems all come down to figuring out how many possible outcomes there are. That always goes in the bottom. And then I say the ones you care about are the ones that matter. They don't all matter. And the ones that actually fit the criteria are what matter, greater than 2.
Do you want me to share my screen again?
Yes, yes, yes. You could maybe try the next one depending on what it is. All right. So why don't you try this one here? It is a fraction. Um, and if you're completely stumped, I will be happy to walk you
Yeah,
through it.
I'm completely. Well, I'm kind of. I got like 7 for my answer, and then we do like. I got, yeah. I'm a little bit
Yeah,
back.
so and I always like to write a probability of not vowel, something like that. So how many total letters are there?
7.
7. And you could even make a little table, vowels and then not vowels. There are 6 sorry, not 6 vowels. There is 6 not, 1 that is a vowel. So the ones you care about is the 1 out of 7. That's it. So go ahead and share your screen. Maybe we can get through one more here before closing out.
I jumped the gun and I got it wrong. I put
Oh
one
boy.
7.
Okay. All right, well, it's okay. Go ahead and share your screen. Maybe we can get one more in here and then we'll see what it is.
I put 1/7 and it said it wasn't correct.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I apologize. 6/7 because there are six non-vowels out of seven. Six
6.
non-vowels.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of something else, of course, when
no,
I'm
no,
doing
no, it's
this.
okay. For sure.
Okay. This is a good as place to any to stop here. I always
Yeah.
encourage students to try, like there's no penalty for trying, and Alex, so just do the best you can and then, just keep
Hmm.
at it.
For sure. Yeah, definitely